Welcome to Big Hoss's Tailgate.
Yeah, so do you like that alpha pouch?
I just put it in, but
Yeah.
I take the Alpha Brain. So what's in it? Caffeine or just?
So like I was reading the instructions. It's kind of like microcrystalline celluloses. I don't know
What the fuck is that?
Yeah. It's like potassium, vegetable glycerin, salt, nootropic. Let's see, nootropic blend, alpha, GPC, 60 milligram, I don't know. I guess it's all good. GABA. What the hell's GABA?
I don't know that. I try all the nootropic things though.
Yeah.
Because like my brain's foggy all the time, so I'm always the Alpha Brain. I swear it helps.
Yeah.
And people are like, what does it do? And I'm like, all I really know that it does, if I take it, I'll have a bad set. But that's really just in my head. You know?
It's like a placebo.
100%.
Like once you take it and like go.
But it feels like when I take it, Joe Rogan always talked about this, you have better recall, like words come to you quicker.
Yeah.
And I definitely feel like I noticed that.
It's weird. It's like just a blend of mushrooms, isn't it? Oh, really?
They have those too, though. I used to take that. It's similar to what all the shit that's listed on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like I always wonder. He always talks about the mushrooms and stuff. Like, oh, the mushrooms like open your brain, and I'm like, I've tried them once.
You talking about psychedelic mushrooms?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, those Okay. What was your experience with them?
Yeah, I tried it one time on a camping trip, and it's how I found out I had anxiety. Really. Because I was having dreams the shadow people were grabbing at me, and I'm like, why is everyone looking at me?
Yeah, that can happen. They're not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
I've taken tons of them, and some of the greatest experiences I've ever had were from them. Like,
yeah, like I was expecting to see shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
you got to take a lot. If you want to like see shit that isn't there, you got to take a whole lot.
Yeah, because it's like, acid was the same way. Like I was expecting to see cartoons, and I took 2 tabs and messed up on that one.
Yeah,
music just sounded amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was vibing out to some Morgan Wallen on the way home, which was a weird vibe to LSD with.
It's not everybody's acid music for sure.
It was like a one song that was kind of like more of a poppy like club mix.
Dude, any song. I remember one time I took a bunch of Molly and acid, and Christina Aguilera came on, and it blew my mind. So
that's fair though. She got a great voice.
Yeah, it wasn't even that. It was the song "Genie in a Bottle." And like you could feel it in your whole spine. You know, so it's like music is just you'll see things you don't normally see. There it is. Like you are seeing things. It's just hard to explain. Like, you're hearing things, you're seeing things, but
you're feeling the vibrations.
Yeah, I mean, I've done boatloads of all of it. Usually, you don't see shit that isn't there. But the shit that is there will look a little different, you know. Like these bricks on the wall would go crazy. You know,
it looked almost looked like Tetris.
Look like they're moving. Yeah,
that's dope. But yeah, you're. Let's see, how long have you been doing comedy for?
6 years.
6 years.
But I would say seriously, like I've been doing comedy seriously for like 2. You know, I mean, and I always did it, but before I was sober, I had no intentions. Like I would just go out, get hammered, talk into the mic, and I was getting better while I did that, but I had no like goals or aspirations and just direction. So for the last 2 years, I decided, I was like, if I'm going to spend all this time, I might as well try to do as much with it as I can.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, because it's like, I mean, like where I'm at with it, everybody's like, what are your goals? I'm like, I don't know, get better. I don't really have anything, just kind of just see where it goes.
Bro, you know what my goal was when I started? Because I was in a really depressed place. Like, really.
Same.
I didn't. Yeah, okay.
Same.
Respect, bro. And so it was like, what do I want to do? I was like, I just want to make some friends, you know? And I was like, this is something to do. And that I will say, like, no one else our age gets to go see 20 of their friends 5 nights a week, you know? Which it can be bad. Because we kind of live like teenagers, you know. We're hanging out till 1 a.m. every night with our friends. That's
there's times where you're like, I have to get up for work the next day, and I'm like, I have to drag myself out of bed. I've had 4 hours sleep.
You have to drag yourself out of the mic. You'll stay all night if you can.
Oh yeah.
And like, But I just really wanted to meet people who thought like me and were like, I just wanted to laugh as much as I could and try to make other people laugh. And that was my whole goal for like the first years of doing it, was just meet as many people as I can and have fun. I think with a goal like that, you'll naturally get better.
Yeah.
Because if you start with the goal of like, my goal is to get a job in comedy. I want to be on this stage opening for this guy by this date. You're going to hate it because you'll see that like 90% of that shit is just pure luck.
Yeah.
You can be as talented and hardworking as you want. Without luck, none of it happens.
Yeah, if the one right person doesn't see you, nothing happens. Like,
yeah, you just got to keep being out, and you never know who's watching. I mean, I've gotten shows performing in front of 5 people, and it sucks, and it's miserable. And one guy comes up afterwards and is like, I booked this thing with 300 people in the room, and now you've got a cool show to go to, so you do never know who's watching.
Yeah, I think I was either at St. Clair or Scarps, I think, and I went up, and then Toby walked up to me.
Yeah, Toby
Taylor.
Dude. Yeah.
And he hit me up and was like, hey, man, like, I want you to, like, I'm booking this show. Like, do you want to be on it? And I was like, yeah, sure. Like, but like, have no idea. You just kind of gotta go up and just wing
Toby's cool, man. He's an ambitious little shit, that guy.
Oh yeah.
Like I did his one show. I couldn't believe how many people. Oh, he's your barber?
Oh yeah.
Let me ask you this: how long does it take you if you shaved that beard off, clean shaven, like for a court date?
Yeah.
How long would it take to get back to that?
This here?
Yeah.
I don't know. Since I kind of like started growing the beard out in like August, and just kind of letting it go.
That's
so this
crazy.
Is where it's been going. I just have been lazy, and I don't want to spend money.
That's 5 months of growth.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah,
I feel like that would have been like 3 years.
Maybe trim it, because like you have to go to the barber and like have him trim off the dead ends
and shape it.
Yeah.
Okay, because anytime I try to grow mine, it just gets like a sponge and itchy, and it's no good.
Yeah.
Yours is sick, dude. It looks like you look like the Kraken.
Yeah. That's why I started a new look like thing, and I was just like, I look like if Yukon Cornelius was a little bit gay. Which
you
is
do a lot
there.
of those look likes, bro. Yeah, I mean, it's like it's easy starter material like to open a set with.
Yeah,
it's like roast yourself. You know what I mean?
I remember we was at Cantu's. Remember, I think what was it? You said you look like the kind of guy that knows a lot about barbecue.
Yeah.
And I went up there and it just died. And you're like, I don't know, man. I thought it was gonna be good.
Yeah, I say you look like you'd be barbecuing at a Chiefs game.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's like that vibe to me.
One time I fucked up and only had the mustache, and I was getting called Andy Reid all the time. I was like, all right, never again, no mustache. That's the rule.
That's the coolest thing about facial hair, though, is you can be like a fugitive. Like you can constantly change your look.
Yeah.
You know, I go with just the stash sometimes.
Maybe Luigi wouldn't have got caught if he
grew something out. Oh,
yeah.
crap.
Oh, you're good, man.
No. Can we pause it for a second?
Yeah, I can pause it real quick. And we're back. All right. Cool. It's funny. The video one, I just let it go, and then I'll
touch it up.
Yeah, edit up later. Yeah. So what were we talking about?
Well, what are your goals with comedy then?
Me right now, it's like I really want to grow my podcast more.
Dude, that's the dream.
That's the goal right now.
You don't have to leave the house.
I'm trying to be like a Joe Rogan of Pittsburgh. You know?
Okay.
I mean? See where it goes. Like, I want to get people like as they're coming in town, like somebody who I know is coming in for a show. All right, cool. Like, grab that guy. Like, hey, let's talk.
Yeah, for sure. I'll see if I can talk to any of the guys. You know, I open for those guys at Low Lev. You know.
Oh yeah.
And they almost always book podcasters. You know.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that because like I was there the first Low Lev show I went to. I think it might have been the first one I did. Was you opened up for Eddie Bravo and Sam Tripoli?
It was the second one. Yeah.
Okay. Who was the first one?
Joe Bartnick.
Oh yeah. Okay, I was there for that one.
Yeah.
So I was there for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty funny though.
He's great. Yeah.
Oh.
Really nice dude. And and Sam and Eddie. I was really nervous for that one.
That one, like, it's like, okay, like these guys are like.
I was just such big fans of both of them,
mm-hmm.
so it was like I was a little nervous for that one, which it went better than any of them. Sometimes that happens. If you're nervous, you'll do better.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like it, you know.
Yeah, I feel that. I heard the first show was really good. Like they did like stand up.
And the second one
was just like them taking questions from the audience, and like
it made me look good because I did stand up.
Yeah.
And then they did like a hour and 45-minute Q&A, which the parts of it were hilarious. But if you don't get good questions and like They ended up getting into an argument with a lady about flat Earth.
That was hilarious.
Okay, so you were there for that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a 40-minute argument about flat Earth.
It was funny that I was sitting next to Aaron Douglas the whole time. He's like, we're not seriously arguing this to be true, right? I'm like, I think they're just arguing on the sake of arguing. Like,
No, Eddie's a big flat Earth guy. I was talking to him about it in the green room. I talked about it all night long.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to him. I asked him if he ever choked out Alex Jones because I seen that like Rogan clip.
Yeah.
And he's like, I didn't. He goes, but there's a podcast you can look up where someone did choke him out.
Yeah.
Like he goes to sleep. And I was like, oh, shit. I had to like look it up.
I forget who that was, but I've seen it. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He goes complete. He wakes up, doesn't know where he is anymore. Alex Jones is the best, dude.
I think that's a dude that just keep him around for comedy. Like no one take him seriously, but like it's weird that he's right about some shit.
Dude, it's always been my contention that if you get mad watching Alex Jones, that's on you. You're watching it wrong.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, It's like almost like if you're yelling at the special kid in class and frustrated with him. I'm like, that's your problem. You know?
I got cock blocked by him.
By a special kid?
No, by Alex Jones.
How did you get cock blocked by Alex Jones?
So like, it's kind of like, yeah, I got cock blocked by Alex Jones, but not like him.
He wasn't in the room.
Right.
Yeah, this sounds like it's on you.
Yeah,
You mentioned how much you like Alex Jones and some chick wouldn't bang you.
No, I actually went down. I was in Southside and met this girl at a bar. And me and her having this great conversation.
Oh, no.
We go outside and her roommate comes out. And this dude's like, let's go back to our place and keep drinking. I was like, cool. Like, you know. And
Perfect.
I drove him back home. Whatever. Me and her on the couch. We're getting ready to talk. This dude's like not getting the hint and like just dicking around the whole time. I'm like, you can leave anytime, bro.
Yeah.
Finally, he gets ready to go up the stairs. And I make some dumbass Alex Jones reference. Triggers the dude. He's a mega fan, and he wants to come over and watch Alex Jones, and she's just like, okay, I'm going to bed. Just completely killed the vibe.
I'm calling that a draw because you made a cool new Alex Jones friend.
Yeah.
You know, that's
fair.
You got to trust God in those situations. That girl might have ruined your life.
Yeah. That's a good point. The bad part is that I did the For the Dogs, Joel's podcast.
I was scheduled to be on it when they stopped doing it. Are they doing it again?
I think they were talking about starting it up.
Yeah, because I was scheduled, and then he called me like day of and was like, we're going to postpone it for a while. That looked so fun.
Oh, it was so much fun to do in those pods.
Yeah.
But he gave me, like the first time I went on there, he gave me, like as a gift, he gave me big boner pills.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I was so sure that things were going to happen that night. I took those pills. You know what it's like to sleep on a leather couch with a boner? Listening to Alex Jones? Listening to Alex Jones, man, it gets so much weirder.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's the gamble of the boner pill, dude.
Oh yeah.
If you're a single guy and you're like, I mean, I take them. I talk about it on stage. It's kind of embarrassing, I guess. I don't give a shit.
Not really.
I've done every drug under the sun. I always say that's my favorite one.
Yeah.
They're the best. But yeah, that is funny. I always say there's no hour in your life that's more awkward than right when you take one, but you have to wait for it to kick in.
And you never know when it's going to kick in.
It's about an hour.
Yeah.
It says on the bottle, but if you ever take one and you've got like a lady with you and she's like, do you want to go upstairs? And you're like, maybe in a little. You know, you're like,
give me about 45 minutes, all right?
I always say like maybe after one more episode of Sons of Anarchy, and that should be about enough.
I never watched Sons of Anarchy.
Bro, it's I watched it under the weirdest circumstances. I was like stuck at somebody's house one day, and I watched like 7 of them in a row. It's phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really good. I don't watch TV anymore, so I miss like the last time I was into TV was like Sons of Anarchy, Breaking Bad, and like anything new that comes out. I'm just like I don't have time.
I was just telling somebody this like you got to watch Shogun.
What is Shogun?
So Shogun's like a remake of this 80s like mini series about like this guy that gets stranded like in Japan. Like they were sailing looking for Japan, and basically everybody died except him. And so he learned the ways, like studied with them, lived with them, like the Japanese culture, and like was watching these warlords like fight battles with each other. And the show's pretty dark. Like it's pretty brutal and shit. It's on it was like FX, but now it's on Hulu.
Sounds like Last Samurai with Tom Cruise.
Yeah, well, I think that dude's in there. The main Japanese general that like fought with him.
I never even saw that movie, so I'm kind of talking out of my ass. But
you never seen that one?
Last Samurai? No.
Oh,
dude, I don't watch anything anymore.
Dude, samurai movies are dope.
Yeah, I mean, I watch history, and that's kind of history, so I could probably get into that.
Yeah, Did you ever play the Samurai game for PS5, or are you mostly a sports guy?
I'm almost all sports video games.
Okay.
Sports and Grand Theft Auto.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for 6, man.
Oh, I'm so psyched.
Oh, dude, back to Vice City again.
It's kind of passed me by, though, sometimes. Like, how old are you?
32.
Okay, so you get it. I'm 36. And, like, sometimes I sit down to play video games, and, like, I'm just, like, left in the dust, you know? Sports, I know sports, so that'll never fully leave me.
Yeah, like, I tried to play Call of Duty, and I just get my ass kicked by, like, 8-year-olds.
Bro, I'm the worst at those first-person shooters because I get lost, and I'm aiming at the sky and shit.
Yeah. See, I started doing that Fortnite a little bit. A couple of comics get together, and we'll play Fortnite.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's basically... It's weird. I don't mean this, like, it's going to sound bad. But Fortnite is the perfect video game.
Yeah?
Because they have racing. Like, you can do a whole racing thing.
I just see them chopping wood all the time.
See, I don't do that zero build shit. No,
okay, anytime I watched someone play Fortnite, they were just chopping down logs, and I was like, this just looks like work.
Yeah, because
I never got it.
Because what it is, like there's the whole building thing. You can build like walls and shit, and build stairs. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, it looks stupid to me.
Yeah.
But also, that's when I realized like I'm getting too old for video games.
Yeah, but then they have the zero build, and you can just shoot each other. That's the best. Like you do all team based and stuff, but even then, I get my ass kicked sometimes, and you're just like, you know what? Why do I play?
Yeah, I can't keep up with it.
Yeah. So like, what was your first open mic?
Let me try to remember. Oh, damn, dude. It was a place called Papa D's in Oakland.
Okay.
It was a pizza shop.
Oh, okay. Is it still there?
I think the pizza shop's still there, but the mic died shortly after.
Oh, no, I meant like the pizza shop.
Yeah, the pizza shop's there, I'm pretty sure. But I was horrible, dude. I can't believe I still do comedy with how bad my early experiences were.
Mm-hmm.
And
like, did you have like jokes prepared?
No.
Or you just kind of just went up and.
I had one joke prepared.
Okay.
And then I was like, then I'll get them. They'll get them there, and then I'm just funny on the fly. I'll just riff.
Yeah.
Nightmare.
Yep.
Nightmare, dude. It was. Oh, man, I'm having secondhand embarrassment. It's a firsthand embarrassment remembering this.
You have Vietnam flashbacks.
Oh, it was so bad, dude. So the joke that I thought was funny, which I'm still laughing at it, was. It was like the week that Harvey Weinstein got arrested.
Okay.
Like it was all over the news.
Yeah.
And I opened my set by saying, I kind of feel bad for Harvey Weinstein. Everybody gasped, like, you know, and things were way more woke than they are now, bro. They were way different. People were appalled. And I said, I feel bad for the guy. I've jerked off on all those same actresses. I just did it on the computer.
That's hilarious.
I think it's funny. It's funny enough for a beginner's joke. Yeah. And like, oh man, it's crickets. And then one lady yells out, sexual assault is not funny. I had never been on stage. I didn't know like how to handle that. And I just went, yeah, you're probably right. It's a strong take. And then I went right into, what do you guys want to talk about? It was a nightmare, dude.
Yeah.
You know who was really kind to me and encouraged me not to quit was Brandon Johnson.
Oh, that dude encourages everybody.
So freaking
He's
nice.
So awesome.
Yeah, man. He's so nice.
I remember I remember going to Willow Station, and he was always just like, you know, hey man, just keep writing, keep coming out, you know, just keep going.
Yeah, that's his thing. Yeah.
I tell you what, the best, you know, when he's at a show, because you hear that laugh.
That ill-timed laugh, dude. He'll laugh at the part you don't even want him to laugh at. And, like, I'm grateful for anyone laughing at anything. But there are times where it's almost distracting, you know, and you're like, fuck. And, like.
It's one of those, like, as soon as I hear it, I start laughing because it's such a great, it's a great laugh.
I have no room to talk because I got a bad laugh, too. Mine's like, I always say I laugh like a bike horn. Like, it's like.
You were telling me about that when you did Don't Tell. When Pratik was up, you're like, I want to laugh, but I can't because my laugh is going to.
Well, his camera was right by our head, and I was like, I better not laugh at anything because that happens sometimes when you're taping a set, and you'll just hear like I have some clips on my laptop where I'm just hearing like a couple fighting, like a personal relationship fight over my jokes, and I'm like, this. You almost want to like dub the audio out. I'm like cutting my mic down to hear like what are they fighting about.
A part of that's like you almost like just open it, just put it up there, and be like couple fights while
couple
comedian
fights
on stage
into camera, yeah.
So you said you're sober now, right?
Yeah, you know this.
Yeah, I know.
It's like for the audience.
Yeah, for the audience, people that don't know.
Yeah,
yeah, because I know this, but it's like I never know how to approach that. like when you meet people who are sober, because
you're a sober guy.
Yeah. And it's like I just like to party.
Oh,
and so
yeah.
it's weird. It's like you're like, hey, want a beer? And they're like, I can't. And I'm like, my bad, dude. Like I feel bad about it because I'm like,
yeah, you don't want to feel bad about it. It's
Yeah.
like being gay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm straight, and it's
Yeah.
like that's fine too. I don't ever get up on somebody's business, man.
yeah, it's like you'd be like, hey, check out that girl, and I'm like, oh, my bad, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
dude,
it's
I
the
don't
same
give a shit.
concept.
Like,
yeah, it's the same concept. And I'm unique in this way. Like when you get sober, most people need help. I needed help. I had people helping me. And the people who help you will say, like, stay away from it. And I've always been so perpetually unique that I was like, I'll do it my own way because I like partying. I liked it too much, you know? I like people who are like me, who like to party too hard, you know? So I stay right in the thick of it. All my friends drink, and most of them do other stuff too. And I just made a decision that after several tries, I was so tired of trying to quit. I made a decision that, like, no matter what, I'm good on that. And, but I stay, I'm in a bar every night with you guys doing comedy, and, like, it just doesn't affect me.
Yeah, because it's like you're trying to find, like, and it's like you try to, like, limit yourself. Like, there's times I'm like, I just try, like, I'll keep it like a beer. But then there's sometimes, like, okay, that felt too good. You know what I mean?
Dude. You're preaching to the choir. That's why I can't have one.
Yeah.
Like anything I do, man, like, I have to be careful with like lately I've been getting into going to the sauna and it makes me feel good. So I'll stay in there. Like it says, like, don't go over a half hour. I'll do an hour. And I want to do like an hour and a half. So I'm like, what if that feels really good? You know? And like, so no matter what it is, if it feels good, I want to do too much of it. So I have to be mindful of it with like everything.
Yeah. I don't think I'd have a problem with the sauna part just because I'm like, I don't want to be in here with a bunch of dudes. Like, this is just weird.
I actually go to one. It's like individuals. So
nice.
you sit in your own little chamber.
Nice.
Yeah,
how do you know?
nice.
Like, how do you know it's not like they have like a clock?
There's a clock
on
in
there?
there, yeah. And your phone, there's like a little cool spot. You can put your phones. You can watch like a podcast and just chill
dope.
out. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it feels amazing.
I always wanted to try one of those sensory deprivation tanks.
I want to try that so much too, but I also am like, what is it? Like, what's the point? Like, is it just supposed to be fun?
I don't know. I heard like you can like because I've heard like Rogan talk about it. He's like, yeah, you can trip in there. He's like,
so like that's what I'm saying. Like, is it just for fun?
yeah, I just want to see what it's like.
I want to see what it's like. Yeah.
Yeah, but then
But does it like if you have like an injury, does it help it heal faster? Like, what is it?
I don't know. I think it's just supposed to kind of like help shut your brain off of shit and like just kind of like chill out, like a good therapy session.
Like meditation almost. Yeah. Okay.
And I think it's like what I think there's salt in there or something to keep you buoyant or
yeah.
something. It's something weird.
Yeah,
like,
it's definitely interesting. There's an awesome video of Hunter Biden in one of them, and he's smoking crack in it. And I'm like, no, that looks like that's you got my vote. I was like, that looks fun.
That's something like I've known people that got into that. I have a guy I work with. He told this story about the first time he smoked crack one time.
I thought you were talking about deprivation tank. Okay,
no,
you're talking about crack. Yeah.
Yeah, he said he was working at some pizza shop over by McKeesport, which, it's tracks for the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. He goes, this guy comes in and goes, hey, man, is it cool if I borrow your car? And he's like, yeah, sure, why not? Like, he's like, I'm a dumb kid. Like, I didn't know. He goes, the one time he's like, hey, can I borrow your car? And he's like, well, we'll just go after my shift.
Oh, this sounds familiar. I think we talked about this once, yeah.
He, like, went to a house, and he's like, there's this dude out front guarding it with an AK. And then he's like, we went to a graveyard and, like, smoked it there. I was like, of all places, why? And he's like, he's like, dude, it was awesome. He's like, but then I was, like, waiting for this dude to come back again. He's like, wait a minute. I don't want to hang out with this guy. I don't even like this guy. Like,
no, and, like, good luck waiting for that guy, dude. You lose track of time a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, there's the meme of, like, what do you call a gentrified crack house? A cocaine apartment? Like a cocaine condo?
Dude, I had some, did you ever have, like, some good, like, nights out in Pittsburgh? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Like, some good, like, after-hour nights.
Most of my drinking and partying was pretty miserable, which is why I stopped. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, the wildest nights I had were alone, because, like, that's what that's why I still go out to bars and stuff, because when I'm out around people, I'm happy. But when I'm secluded and, like, away from everyone, I'm, like, sad and miserable, and that's whenever I, like, seek substances to make me feel okay. You know?
Oh, yeah. I feel that, and it's like I'm trying to keep that healthy balance of it, where it's like, because I can't drink at home. Like I've tried to drink at home, like I'll have a beer, I can't even finish the beer.
Yeah,
It's just something weird. Like I need that social
when
environment.
you say like when you need a balance, in my experience, when I talk to someone and they say I'm not sure if I have a problem, usually you don't.
Yeah.
Because it becomes so apparent that you're like for years before I stopped, I was like, oh yeah, I know I have a severe problem. You know, like I was well aware of it and was just like, we'll do something later. You know,
that's what it's like. I have friends that are just like, hey man, like you might want to, chill it out, like chill out a little bit. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not wrecking my car. Like I'm not like,
you're not wrecking your car. You're not wrecking your life. And, I'm very pro everyone have as much fun as they can.
Yeah, and I'm
the problem. Alcohol is not a problem. I am though, and like being aware of that is important for me.
Yeah, I try not to like get like fucked up on stage, because like that's the hardest thing to do, because like you want to, because it gives you that freedom.
You'll feel looser, but then what happens is you'll have one good set, like really good, and then you'll think that it was the alcohol that did it and not you. Yeah. So then you'll be like, what did I have that night? I had 2 shots and 4 beers, and then like for me it was always like, and then this pill and then this powder, and like I would try to balance it all out, and it was impossible to duplicate. Like I could, because I needed to find me and not like the right substance combo. But I definitely had some fun nights. One night I headlined. People always ask me, what's the longest you've ever done? Because when I headline, I'll do 30 to 45 of like material. But this night I was so blasted and blacked out. I did an hour 15. I was booked for 30. So and I was doing fine. I was doing really well. It was a show in West Virginia. And around like the 1 hour and 12-minute mark, I was like, I should check. I checked with the guy. I was like, how much time do I have? He's like, you're at 1 hour and 10 or whatever, And I was like, all right, let me do my closer and leave then. It's like I had no idea what was going on.
At least you know you can do that. Like, was it all like material? Or was it all like some crowd
I was
work and
high
shit?
out of my mind on cocaine and alcohol, and I was just rambling and ranting. And luckily, it was working, because it was just like, it's probably a combination of me being funny and them being like, look at this spectacle, like I'm sweating and going on and off, and like, but I could never like duplicate that. It was just, I got lucky that night and they liked it. But and that was back when I did the guitar too. So like, I would just kind of like strum and fuck around.
Oh my God, I love that fucking song you do on the guitar. The one where it's like, I need Adderall.
That's everybody's favorite one.
It's just such a catchy song, and I'm like, you should just record that one and put it out.
I might. I have it recorded on a couple shows. Louis taped it one night, and it went pretty well. I tried to do it recently because a guy who booked me insisted it. He was like, I love that. I want you to do that. Yeah. And I was like, dude, I don't think I remember it. He's like, yes, you do. I didn't. So I got like a few lines in and was like, where does this go? And like part of what makes the song funny is you just keep going and it's louder and faster. And I was like trying to think and couldn't remember it. But yeah, if I had an hour and a half on stage every night, I would do the guitar every night. But like, it's not what I want to work on, and it eats up so much time. So it's like, I can't do stand up if I'm eating up half my set with the other shit. You
almost like just need like a show where you're like, okay, I can put that in there, like for the last 15 or something, like kind of like how Rodney Carrington does, where he does like an hour of like 45 minutes of stand up, and then the rest is just funny songs.
You know who's good? I don't want to say his name wrong, because I want to say Stephen Hawking's, but that can't be right.
I think it's not. I'm thinking Stephen Lynch.
No, he was cool though. He was obviously.
Yeah, I remember that guy in high school. Like,
Tim Hawkins. He's like a Christian clean comedian.
I have seen him.
He's hilarious, bro, and he's a phenomenal musician. He but all of his stuff is like clean and family friendly and really, really like funny and sharp. And like my stuff was just because I couldn't get anyone to laugh ever, dude. I was bombing my ass off my first months. And a friend of mine was like, dude, you're so funny with that guitar. Just bring that. So I tried it. Skywalker made fun of me.
Wow.
I had never met Skywalker. I didn't want to bring my guitar. People who listen to this probably know Sky, right?
Yeah.
So you can beep this out if you want, or I think it's funny, but I'm in the car with my friend, and I'm like, dude, I have a ukulele. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to bring this in there. People are going to make fun of me. He goes, dude, it's going to be really funny. It's going to be great. Just do it. It's fine. And I was like, people are going to rip on me. He's like, was like, all right, I'll do it. And I get out of the car, and I take like 4 steps. I've never met Skywalker before. He points at me from 20 yards out and goes, "This faggot brought a ukulele." We've been friends ever since. But I was like, oh, it like broke me, dude.
I love Sky, man. That dude has no filter.
Yeah, he's
Like,
a fascinating.
no filter.
It's fascinating to watch Sky work on stage.
When he told me his name, I'm like, you're fucking with me. Because that does not sound like a real
I know.
name. You know what I mean?
Don't fuck with him too bad, dude. You get him in the wrong mood, he doesn't like it. But
Oh, yeah. Well, I've seen him, like, I've seen him just go off. Like, he'll just, like, sit up there and he'll deconstruct everybody. It's like, holy shit.
And when it gets going, it's amazing. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But, like, it's hard to depend on that type of thing because you got to have stuff that's like all my jokes in the beginning of a set are the jokes I hate the most, that are the corniest, and they work better than almost anything I have.
Don't you hate that? Like, when you're like, why is the dumbest joke work?
Hate it. And then I write something that I think is like kind of funny and like dark or whatever, and it just gets crickets. It drives me nuts, dude.
Yeah, I was with like somebody, and we were just talking amongst ourselves, and I said like a dumb like joke, and I was like, yeah, go up there on stage, like it's probably a dumb joke. It's not gonna get a laugh. It fucking crushes.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, damn it.
Yeah.
I should have kept it, but it's probably better off that person told the joke, not me.
How do you write your shit?
Me, I'll just get an idea. Like, sometimes I'll see something. Like for instance, I have this new like bit I'm doing where I went to the doctors, and the first question they had on the questionnaire was, "Are you sexually active?" And I looked at the nurse and said, "What if I'm trying really hard but not having great success?"
Okay.
Like, do I check no,
Yeah.
but it's a yes? And like she
Non-binary?
lost it. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, that's I'm gonna run that next time.
That's how I do it. Like,
Yeah.
some people have a process and they're better at it than me, so God for them. But like, I think of my shit in the shower.
Mm-hmm.
I either think of it in the shower or in conversation. Something gets said, and I'm like, bingo, there's something there. You know?
Yeah. Well, the only problem with that is that when you're talking with other comics and you say it, and then like you both laugh, and I'm like, all right, which one of us
Whose
is
is
gonna take
that?
it? Like, you know,
Bro, Blake Scala is my best friend in the whole entire world. That almost broke our friendship up, dude.
that's fair.
Yeah, because and I give him credit. He wrote the joke, and I hardly ever do it because he was like, "What the fuck? That's mine."
Yeah.
But I was trying to joke about something, so I said it on a podcast to like see how it got, and he added on like the whole thing, like the best part of the joke, and I was like, "Boom, that's how it should go." And then I did it a couple nights later, and he was like, "What the fuck?" He was like, "I was gonna do it," and I was like, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, now the joke, he would never do it because I've done it already.
Yeah. Like,
I can't do it because it pissed him off. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what. So that's
He was
what-
in the right too, in case he dares listen to this.
So here's where it gets kind of weird, because like sometimes you'll hear someone say something on stage, and you're like, I thought he was going to go in a different route, and you're like, can I build off of that? Is it joke stealing? Like, if you're using different premises, like it's the same premise, but like you went a different route with it than they did.
Yeah, man, it's tricky because everything's already been done.
Yeah,
It's kind of like writing a song in the key of G. You're like, yeah, but the Beatles have a song in the key of G.
yeah,
And it's like,
yeah. At what point are you doing Stairway to Heaven?
yeah, to me it lies within your own conscience, but like there are times if someone calls you on it, you're fucked, you know?
My thing is, if someone calls me on it, I would 100% be like, all right, noted. That will not be in my set no more. Like, 100%. Like, because it's like, hey, because that's why I try not to watch stand-up specials. Just because I don't want to get an idea from a special, and then you write it, and someone's like, oh, hey, that's...
Oh, same here. Well, I won't do the material, but what I will do, hold on one second.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
So, what were you saying? Like,
Oh, like trying to like...
if I watch stand-up, I won't take material. I'll jack their style.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like they're like mannerisms, and I'll catch myself doing that. Not even intentionally. I'm just like inspired by it, like it, and be like, I want to try something like that. After I opened for Dov Davidoff, who is brilliant and hilarious, there was like a month where I was borderline doing my jokes in an impression of his voice. And I had to like catch that and be like, stop it, and because his delivery is so unique and so awesome. And I was like doing that. And I was like, so I try to watch very little stand-up unless it's a guy I'm like a big fan of or somebody who like recommends it.
Yeah,
because I'll do that.
Yeah, like my problem is that I have this thing where it's like you'll be talking to somebody and you can pick up on the way they talk.
Yeah.
Or pick up their mannerisms, and I start to mimic the mannerisms.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, ooh, like I don't want this.
Bro, you are the company you keep. You know, like I catch people doing it to me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I catch people like writing and talking in my voice, and I've had people even say to me like, I got to quit hanging out with you because now I'm writing in that like tone I do. So yeah, it's just a thing that happens. I had one because I post all my stuff on YouTube. Go subscribe. I post all my stuff on YouTube, and like that goes to God knows who and where. People in Australia and shit.
Yeah.
So someone commented on one of my jokes. This idea is stolen from the Boondocks, and I was like, I just commented back. I was like, with all due respect, I have never and would never watch the Boondocks.
Oh man, that's some good comedy though.
That's what he said. He goes, it's a really good show, and I said, I'm sure FUBU makes a really good sweatshirt, but I'm not going to wear it, you know. But like there, and I have another one that people have said like this is kind of like a bit from someone else, and I'm like I don't know what to tell you, you know. But if it's like someone in our scene, I see that happen a lot, and you're like, yeah, dude, like. But it happens. It's such a weird art form, you know.
Yeah, and it's like how many times, like especially like I try not to write stuff specifically to Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
because I really don't know Pittsburgh because I grew up in Washington County.
Okay.
So I don't like people will throw references to me and I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah, drive to any other state and you're from Pittsburgh, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But,
yeah, I'll tell people like I'm from Pittsburgh, but it's like,
yeah.
I don't really know Pittsburgh. Like I don't have like the deep like references that I can throw out like other than Permanis, I guess. Iron City.
Comedy is supposed to be the world through your eyes.
Uh-huh.
So you know, write about Washington. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Write about the differences. It's definitely like because you're the only one coming from out there. You know what I mean?
I met this dude. He was a buddy of mine. I've never met anybody with a Yinzer accent.
Oh, really?
Like never.
It's an
met,
ugly
like,
accent, dude.
Oh, for sure. So my buddy lives in Katanning.
Okay.
And as soon as he pulled up, like I talked to this dude on Instagram. Like it was a friend of a friend. Like we were in a group chat, and like me and him, like we would talk. You know, became friends through that way. So the first time I hung out with him, he pulls up. He's like, dude, is your name Andy, bro? Like, what's going on, bro? I'm like, what? No.
Yeah,
no,
it's
he doesn't
interesting.
talk like that. Like,
it's interesting. You know, people in Baltimore kind of sound like that too, which is weird because it's like known as the Pittsburgh accent, but it's a gross one. You know, like some accents, some people think a Southern accent's gross. A girl with a Southern accent, dude, she'll rob me blind.
Oh yeah,
I love that.
It's easy. Like I always tell people, like you know, you go to country concert season.
Yeah,
you get a girl with a sundress and cowboy boots. It's game over,
dude. They're all wearing sundresses and cowboy boots.
Oh yeah,
it's like I'm not a country music fan, but I will say some of the most fun concerts in the world. And I don't even like a single song. And I'm like, this is a party.
Oh,
it's fun.
It's a vibe.
Like, I went to Kenny Chesney when I was a kid. It was fun as hell.
Oh, nice.
I'm not a kid. I was like 21.
Did you ever see like I think for his pit they'll have like the sand bar and they like put sand on the ground. People can like stand on the sand.
I mean, I remember being really drunk, so I don't remember anything but being really drunk. You know.
I hate when you have shows like that where it's like I was at that show, but I couldn't tell you a single thing.
I have that whole bit about. I went to see the Count. It's a true story. I went to see the Counting Crows, and I got blacked the fuck out, and they didn't play Mr. Jones. Oh. So I was like throwing a tantrum in the parking lot, like I paid good money for this fucking show, and they did play Mr. Jones. I was just that drunk.
Imagine like running into them, like you know, like on the way to your car, like you know, let's say you walk by the bus and you see them, and you're like, "Hey, you guys suck! You didn't play Mr. Jones." Like that was the first song we did.
It was, I think, it was like a big thing, and like I had friends telling me I was singing along to it, so like I very much, you know, like I was just an idiot.
Do you ever have that moment like in a concert, like where you're standing in the crowd and you'll hear like maybe the first like beginning of something, you're like, oh, they're doing that song, and then you're completely wrong?
They probably just kicked.
Yep, we started again.
Okay, it was just because your phone.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but
yeah, for sure. one time when I was like 19 years old, and I was super drunk again, and I was at a concert, and
so you were at this concert,
and it was the last song they were gonna play, and I knew it, so I jumped up on stage, and the singer was like scared, like he didn't know if I was gonna kill him or something.
Oh,
and I grabbed the microphone and I sang the rest of the song, and then they all got like really into it, and it was cool. I was so drunk. It went like as good as it could have gone. Like I jumped up right when the chorus hit. I jumped up, grabbed the mic, sang the chorus, and then like jumped back out into the crowd. And security came over and they were like beating on me.
That's fair.
Because they were gonna get in trouble, you know.
Yeah.
Like they were pissed at me and they were like, "We're beating on this dude."
Yeah.
And the singer came over and stopped them. He was like, "No, that was awesome."
Yeah.
And he said this quote, and I love this quote. He said, "That takes courage, and we appreciate courage." And I remember they were like my favorite band when I was a kid.
Was it in Pittsburgh?
Yeah. No, this was in Cleveland at the House of Blues.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's really, really funny.
Nice.
Like they have the whole song is on there, but there's like at like the 2-minute mark, you just see me drunk, soaked in sweat. My hair was like down to my shoulders back then. And I pop up there like headbanging and grab the mic. It was fun.
Oh yeah, dude. I have some like the only cool like concert thing I have like from that would be I actually have a couple because I had one where I was at Eric Church, and I think I yelled something or like he said I think it was something about being stoned. I said, "Hey, pass that shit over," and I seen him on stage smile and he looked over and went like that and then like turned around and, like did it. I was like, all right, that's cool. Like at least he saw me and heard me.
It's crazy how funny it is that like I always said I'd rather be a musician than a comic. Like those guys are worshipped, you know? Like it feels cool to have someone come up to you after a show and be like, "You were our favorite one. You were so funny. That joke about this and that was so funny." But like I can't even imagine how it feels to be a musician. Like those people are swinging from your nuts. You know?
And as a musician, you're like, okay, it's kind of cool that these people worship me. Where a comedian's like, you're just worshiping me because I say retard a lot. Like,
not even. It's just like, I mean, especially at our level, it's like you're not going to remember who I am in a week, in an hour.
You'll be like, oh, this one dude was really funny. And
but like musicians have a different music evokes a whole different emotion. You know what I mean? Like nobody's ever come to a comedy show with a sign that says "Your joke saved my life." You know what I mean? So it's just like a whole different vibe.
Yeah, you got a very good point because I seen my buddy like a Tequila Cowboy one time. He's playing up there and like no one's paying attention. It's Tequila Cowboy during COVID. Yeah, it sucked. You couldn't even sit at the bar. Like you could sit at a table at the bar, but you couldn't sit at the bar.
Yeah,
that's them weird. Like,
I never liked Tequila Cowboy, anyways. Yeah. I always feel too old in there.
I felt it after like COVID.
Yeah,
when I went in, I was like, oh, I'm the old guy.
Something has changed.
Yes. Like, I work with a bunch of like young 20-year-olds, and I still think I'm that age.
Oh, dude, it happens with comedy because people quit and new ones start. And you know, like I remember being like looking at people being like, that guy's old, and now I'm like, I'm the old guy. Yeah. You know? Let me ask you this, because country music is like borderline half your personality.
Yeah.
What are some other genre, like what are some other artists that you like? Like, do you listen to other shit at all?
Yeah, like I like rock, like, you know, like classic rock. Like,
okay.
You know, I like Guns N' Roses, shit like that.
Okay, yeah, we're still in the same, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I like that. There's some pop punk stuff that I like that.
Bro, don't you tell anyone how much I secretly like pop punk music, bro.
Yeah, well, everybody heard it now.
Yeah, right. My very first concert was Blink-182.
Okay.
Dude, I still idolize those guys somewhere deep inside. Like, and me and two of my buddies, we were 12, and our sister, kind of like my one friend's sister, kind of like lied to our parents about what the music was like, so that we could go, and we got to sit in the. We were in like 4 rows back, and they came out, and there's like, you know, this like long dramatic pause, and you can hear the guitars kind of like slowly kicking in, and then they just light the word "fuck" on fire. And we were just like 12 years old. We're all sitting there with our middle fingers up. It was like, this was paradise, dude. But I love Blink-182.
Yeah, like I like that. I like some rap. Like, you know, I definitely like 90s rap. Like, you know,
okay, yeah.
Like Cube and stuff.
We're getting old, dude.
Yeah, the new stuff, I'm like, it's just...
I don't seek it out, so I can't say it's bad.
Yeah.
I just don't seek it out. Every now and again I hear something that I'm like, oh, this is all right. You know what I mean? But
I'll tell you what, I don't know how I feel about this, man. Like I've been like seeing like clips for like that Wicked movie.
Yeah.
And I keep seeing like the girl at the end singing or whatever, and I get goosebumps every time. Like, do I like show tunes? Do I like musicals?
Bro,
now?
I love musicals. Also, don't tell anyone that.
Yeah.
I like some musicals I can really get behind.
Yeah.
I did not see Wicked just because it's like the Wizard of Rent, I call it. It's just gay Wizard of Oz. No thanks. Like I don't have space for that, as they say. I cannot hold space for that.
Yeah, and I'm like, I've seen the movie. I know how it works. Like,
yeah, and supposedly it's pretty solid, but that's not my scene, dude.
So what's weird is like I was hearing someone described Wicked to me in the best way possible. They're like, it's fan fiction. That's literally how that book thing started, because it's like
it's
Wizard
like a fan of the Wizard of Oz who wrote it and was like, what if it was gayer?
Yeah,
I think, right? Is it gay? It feels gay.
I think it's supposed to be like trying to make the Wicked Witch out to be like, oh, she was a good person, I got screwed over.
I like that.
Yeah, so it was
that's fun. That's kind of what Cobra Kai did to Karate Kid.
Yeah, it's like they did it first as a book, and then they did it as a musical, and then the movie came like later.
Yeah, I'm not knocking it, but that one I can't get behind. I like Newsies, dude. Have you ever seen Newsies?
I've seen clips of it. That's the one with Christian Bale.
Yeah, that's what makes it so funny, dude. Young Christian Bale, dude. And he's so like, musicals, I like them a lot.
Yeah.
But also, you're not wrong to look at them and be like, this is pretty gay.
Yeah, that's Patrick Bateman.
It's so good, dude. And but I love that one, dude.
Do you remember he was in Pocahontas?
Christian Bale.
He's the dude that shoots the guy that was
the animated version.
Yeah.
Okay, I would have never.
He's
been
the
able to
one
pick
guy
him
that
out.
Mel Gibson oh hey, keep both eyes open next time you shoot, like the young kid. That's Christian Bale, and I was like, I didn't know that until like he became Batman.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
My first Christian Bale was always American Psycho, which was like phenomenal.
Yeah.
Dude, I am with Mel Gibson what you are with country music.
I love Mel Gibson.
I love Mel Gibson so
Dude,
much.
Fucking Riggs, come on.
And it's another thing of like when people are like, you like Mel Gibson? They're doing the same thing they do with Alex Jones. It's like you're watching it wrong, dude.
Yep.
But yeah, Mel Gibson's the shit. Did you see him on Rogan?
Oh yeah.
It was like bizarre and interesting. I just
thinking,
love
like,
him.
I kept saying, like, come on, ask about Lethal Weapon 5. That's all I want. I don't care if
He's
it's
been
bad.
on twice. The one time they just talked about stem cells. This time they talked a lot about like the Catholic Church. Which
Yeah.
I'm interested in. Anything Mel Gibson has to say, I'll listen. But
I want to see, especially when he's talking about, like, I'm going to do Passion of the Christ 2, and it's going to be the resurrection.
which is interesting, yeah.
And I'm like, he's like, it's going to be a psychedelic trip because we're going to go, like, to another realm. And I'm like, I kind of want to see how you make this sequel.
Everything he makes is so cool, dude. Like he's
Hacksaw Ridge.
Yeah, Hacksaw Ridge was incredible, dude.
I saw that in the theaters, man. And when that one dude picks up the dead soldier and runs forward, firing the Tommy gun,
yeah,
that doesn't make you want to sign up for war. I don't know.
Well,
what
it
else
doesn't, but it doesn't. It makes me be like, thank God I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean.
But
it's
you're like,
inspiring.
That's grandpa out
it's
there.
inspiring and fantastic, but like also yikes, But yeah, it's phenomenal.
Oh, and then like you watch that movie, you're like Vince Vaughn,
dude.
is actually a
Apocalypto.
badass. I've never seen that one.
Dude, you're nuts. So like, if you like Hacksaw Ridge, because this is stuff he directed, he wasn't in. You know, he is so like it's the most incredible movie. So it's all in subtitles.
Yeah,
because it's like this weird Mayan language. It's like a form, I think, of like ancient Spanish. I don't know, but there's not a lot of talking in the movie, so there's like very few lines, and like the subtitles are up, and you get so sucked into the story that you almost stop reading the subtitles because it feels like you learned to speak that language. Like you're in the story so much that you're like, I know what he just said. You know?
Or you can like pick up like, oh, his body
you just
language.
you just get so sucked into that movie. It's so that might be my favorite movie, dude. It's up there.
That's fair. Yeah, I remember when that came out, and like a lot, I was like, "Oh, that looks cool," and then everybody's like,
sick.
"It's brutal." And
It's
they're like,
brutal.
Really? And they're like, "Ooh."
I remember I tried to watch it with a chick, and I was like, "Yeah, this is a guy movie. My bad." Like, there's a lot of like
I
ripping
fucked up on
hearts
that.
out and shit. Yeah,
That's what happened.
yeah.
That's what people get mad about, and they're like, "I don't understand what is."
Do you need to turn your backlight off or whatever, like, so that it doesn't go to?
That's what I'm wondering. Maybe if I like set it up so like, because I can change the settings from here. Let me see here. Maybe I gotta stop it or something. That's what's weird, man. I'm trying video for the first time, and like trying to figure it out.
Dude, when I
you're the
tried it, it
experiment.
was so frustrating. The one time we did the whole thing, and I got the camera done perfectly, and then we realized we didn't turn the mics on. I had like a 2-hour episode of us just talking into the iPhone camera.
Well, at least you can get the sound from that, but it's so like far away.
It sounded like shit. It was a waste of time.
Yeah, if it beeps again, I'm just gonna pause it and then go fix it.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
come
you're
back.
good.
Yeah, because I know you got. I know you got a mic tonight. You run the Parkway Theater mic.
Second longest running mic in Pittsburgh, I believe.
Oh, really? What's the first one?
Scarps.
I figured it was Scarps.
Yeah.
That was my first mic.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's a brutal first mic.
I remember.
bro.
I remember seeing you go up there, and I was just like, I want to be that guy.
Oh hell yeah, man! That makes me so happy.
Yeah, like I think when people see you for the first time, like especially when they've never done stand up, it's like, well, I'm just gonna go home now because it's like I can't.
Man.
You can't compete with that. Like your energy and like the jokes and stuff. Like
that makes me so happy, bro. And
Yeah.
that's the thing is, I'm such an energy comic. You know, I don't really say a lot of funny things, so I've always contended that like I could get anyone's material to work a little. Like
Yeah.
delivery and energy are so much of it, and confidence and like just drive it home. You know. But that's so nice, man. I appreciate that.
yeah, like I think you're a big influence on a lot of like young guys when they start out because like that's why like you'll see a lot of young guys go edgy for like right off the bat, and I'm like, you need to go talk to that guy.
I tell them all the time, I'm like, you can do that stuff, but you gotta like, they gotta like you first, you know. And like I've had that talk with a lot of people, and I try to stay away from it, dude. So my content gets labeled as edgy, and I'm like, if you heard the shit that I write and decide not to do,
I've seen you like on shows, and it's really not that bad.
it's all very mild. I try to make
tame.
it tongue in cheek, and like
it's when the mic comes, and then you're like the open mics come because you know you're like, oh, I can fuck with people.
yeah.
And you can kind of lean into it.
Oh,
a little bit more.
I haven't been doing as many mics, man, and like it's winter and like the weather's been bad,
Oh,
but
it's cold and shit. I don't. blame you.
I sometimes like doing an open mic more than a show in front of 200 people because like I know it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to remember that when you're starting is like this doesn't like people get nervous. I'm like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you do great, no one gives a shit. And if you do bad, no one gives a shit, you know? So like be yourself and really start finding like how you want to do it, and like it's all about like just expression at those mics, you know?
Oh yeah, I mean I don't try. I try to stay away from the edgy stuff, like anything too controversial, because you know the wrong person hears it, and you're gonna set. You know, I don't want to alienate an audience. Okay, I'm gonna check it. Like I said, technical difficulties. Got to get the video back up, but we're good now. We're back to recording.
Oh yeah,
yeah. That's experiment with new shit, man. Trying a different angle, see how it goes.
yeah. So you were saying about. Something about you don't want to offend people or whatever.
Yeah, because I'm trying to like, I don't want to alienate an audience because I'm worried I'm going to say something and someone's like, you can never do comedy again because you said one offensive joke.
Yeah, you got to go pretty far for that to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But here's the thing. Here's like the hack. If you want to say something that you know is a little over the line, I always say try to make people feel uncomfortable, but make no one feel attacked. Like, I'm not shitting on you because this is you, you know, this is what you believe or this is your lifestyle. I'm pointing out my silly take on it and always kind of play dumb, you know, like I just don't get it because I'm dumb, you know,
That's
like
fair.
It's not because you're gross and weird and your lifestyle offends me or whatever, you know, like don't shit on, and never have a point. No audience wants to be told how to think, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They can be entertained, however, by how you think, you know? So, like, don't be up there trying to convince anyone of anything, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm just sharing with you my thought I had on the matter. And it goes wrong, dude. I did a joke the other night. I ate shit, bro. I did a joke about technically the first woman I was ever attracted to was John Benet Ramsey.
Which makes sense.
Because I was 7
Yeah.
and she was 7 when it happened.
Yeah.
But everyone just looked at me like, you're attracted to little kids? And I was like, no.
No,
you know, like, that's not
wrong
what I
way.
was getting at.
Taking this the wrong way.
You know what I mean? So you'll still like have big misses. That was a big miss. I don't even think I'll try that again. It was so uncomfortable, but
it's just one of those like, okay, put it away. See what I can
comics
do with
got it,
Yeah.
you know.
I
but,
get what you're getting. Like,
yeah.
as soon as you explained it, I was like, oh, I get what you're saying. Like,
yeah.
Because
but-
like if when you look at it and go, oh yeah, I was 7 when this
yeah,
happened.
but people, it's like a hot thing, and there's also certain subjects that just stay off them, like trans jokes. Like, I don't care how clever you think yours is, people get so tense about it. Like, why even go there? You know what I mean? Like, there's what is your take? Everyone's already done it.
So I went up at Cantu's.
Well, that's the place to do one.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I mean?
I went up at Cantu's.
These rules don't apply there. You say whatever the fuck you want at Cantu's, bro.
Yeah, it's freedom. So I went up at Cantu's, and I had this thing happen to me New Year's Eve. And I've talked about this on other episodes, but I don't care. Like, this is new for you. I met this girl comes up to me at the bar, and I'm like, okay, cool. You know, it's nice. I'm getting hit on. You know, this is a change. Okay, and you know, she's I'm drinking a little bit. Had some Jack and Cokes. You know, I'm getting we're getting handsy. I think
I see where this is going,
we're getting
bro.
Handsy. And this guy calls us over, and he looks at her and goes, "You can tell him now." And I went, "Tell me what?"
You couldn't pick up on that this cutie was 6'4"?
No, she was little because she was from the Philippines.
Oh,
yeah,
all right. Those don't even count, bro. You're good. Yeah,
the masters of disguise.
Yeah.
You know, they perfected the art. They're masters of it. And I said, whoever did it did a great job because I couldn't tell.
Yeah, I know some comics who have dabbled in the Philippine version of that. Yeah,
and then and like the more I thought about it, I was like, well, her hands were pretty rough. Like she had more
working
calluses
construction.
Than I did.
Yeah,
yeah. And it was like they looked at me like as soon as they told me though that like when they looked at me like they had fear in their eyes. Like, is this guy gonna attack me?
Yeah, dude, it's a real thing they got to deal with.
Yeah,
but also tell a motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know.
And she looked at me like, "Oh, I thought you knew. Like, I'm sorry." And I was like, "No, it's like it's fine. Like, you know what I mean? Hey."
Yeah, it's not the end of the world, but yeah, if people get upset, I could see that too. You know what I mean? Depending on how far you were going to take it, that could be alarming.
Well, yeah, I was like, that was the thing. Is like, if the guy didn't tell me, I'd have went home with this girl.
Oh man, no, that would have been wild.
Yeah,
I've been hit on by them, but it's always been extremely apparent, dude. Like looks like John Elway in a cocktail dress.
I got hit on. I could tell.
Yeah.
Like it was one of those. Like at first, I thought I was like, oh, this person being really friendly. And then they took a picture of me like when I was on stage, and they said like, "Oh, I got an even hotter pic," and they were biting her lip, and I was like, "Oh," and I was just like, but I didn't handle it right because I was drinking. Like I didn't handle it right. I was a little out of my element. Like,
what'd you say?
No, I just acted weird.
I can see that
because I just didn't know how to.
That's the way you handled it, right?
Yeah, I was just like
it's a weird thing.
Yeah, they were like, "Hey, how's it going?" I'm like, "Hi."
Yeah. But again, like even as we're talking about this, I'm like, let's change the subject because like if you start riffing about it and you make some jokes, like who the fuck knows, man? And like I always say like I have no hate in my heart. The only person I hate, man, is me.
Same. No, I'll tell you who I hate. I hate everybody that I was driving to on the way here.
Yeah.
Just stop, like go drive really slow at a red light and just sit there. I'm like, I hate everybody here.
Bro, I was driving on 28 and they had someone pulled over. So traffic was just blocked. I was like, dude, I don't care if they were selling heroin to toddlers.
Yes.
Don't pull them over right here. Get them somewhere else. Yes. You know what I mean? Like
get them off.
Highways should be lawless. You know, like don't ever pull someone over there. And your people have places to go.
Yeah. It pissed me off because especially in Pittsburgh, like we already have a hard city to drive in, and then the drivers are making it worse.
Yeah.
And then I didn't realize the time either. It's 4 p.m. on a Friday. I get it now. And it's like, but it's also
dude,
like,
if you ever have like my family's from Florida and if they come and visit and I'm like, I'll take you to this restaurant and you just go on like two side streets and a car's coming on, they're like they assume it's a head-on collision because it's just like, you know, the older cities like that. Like if you go down south, those cities were all built way later. Yeah. So it's like they were planned. Our city was like built and then expanded upon, and like it's kind of hodgepodge, like you would build a treehouse almost. Like you're just like stapling shit to it, and like so it's like kind of.
Did you ever see the old like photos of Pittsburgh like from like 1900?
Oh, they're so cool.
It's especially when they colorize them because like you can see like Point State Park was like just a mound of dirt.
Yeah, and I really like when they take them. Like you'll see them in certain restaurants. Like here's the image from our front door every 20 years or whatever, or like every 50 years, so you can just see like damn, like the progression, and it's interesting.
Yeah, so the closest I got to that like in Washington County is that I guess in the 50s or whatever, like companies would fly planes over like overhead.
Yeah.
And they would take photos of the ground, like
Yeah,
people on the ground.
I've seen some of those.
So like you can literally type in your address and be like, what did this place look like in 1960? And they'll show you like, here's where your house was, and like there's things there. I was asking my parents, I'm like, what happened to this? And they're like, oh yeah, like we took that out a long time ago, or yeah, that's when someone used to have a garden here, and it was.
Dude, you were talking about how you might want to start producing some shows.
Yeah.
If I were you, dude, I would do it in Washington County.
I've been trying to, but it's so hard to find a bar to like.
You'll find one. Be patient,
Uh-huh.
because people out there don't have as much entertainment. So,
Same.
like, if you hang flyers around, they're like, here's something to do in town,
Yeah.
and here's what you got to do. I mean, do whatever the fuck you want. But I would book the most talented folks you know on the first couple. And you can throw love shots to, like, newer guys and friends and whatever.
Yeah.
But if you show them a quality time, they'll come back and, like, they'll pack out rooms, and, like, then you can book whoever because they're, like, already bought in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I'm looking at a place tomorrow. There's like a bar I found. I called him, and the owner of the bar was like, yeah, like, you know, we were thinking about doing this. They're like, we have a bar up the road that's really busy. Like, it would be good there, but like this bar, we're trying to like get a crowd. And I was like, and they're like, we have a patio and stuff. I was like, oh, okay, so you can do summer shows out here. It's like
Outdoor comedy can be rough,
Oh,
but
but-
I've had it go well, but it's just tough because it's harder to keep them from talking.
yeah.
They're just distracted by fireflies.
And that's the one thing I'm still learning to do is like, how can you shut people up without going shut up?
dim the lights, put a light on stage, dude. That's number one.
Yep.
That like lets them know this is what is the entertainment. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like dim the lights and have a spotlight on stage. That's like such a mental cue.
Yeah.
Also try to have like a tighter space so that they will be able to tell their conversation is an interruption.
Yeah.
So the larger a space is, they're like, we'll go to the back and we'll talk. And they don't realize it's just as distracting as if you're in the front row.
Oh yeah.
You know?
That's what it's like. Okay, so like, the problem is like any show you want to do in Washington, all the venues are huge because they're set for bands.
Yeah.
So it's like you're just standing on a huge empty stage, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, this is awkward. Like, you know.
Another thing is, man, don't do a free show. Charge tickets.
Oh yeah.
Because then the rest of the audience is like, I paid for this, you
Yeah.
know? So that's another cue.
And you'll talk to bars and they're like, well, how much is that going to cost me? I'm like, it's not going to cost you anything. If anything, you're making money on alcohol and food.
Yeah. And some places will do it where it's like if you bring in people, like some venues will pay the talent, you know what I mean? But it depends.
I did have a place where I mentioned like, hey, like I'd like to do a show here, and they're like, the problem is that we can't sell tickets because of our liquor license. I didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, like there's certain places where it's like
It's crazy. Like you can't air a UFC fight at places, and like there's all kinds of rules.
which is like why? Like
No.
it's a bar. Like
Somebody's got to get money. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
like, oh, we can watch the football game, but we can't watch a UFC fight.
Yeah,
Like,
it's bizarre. It's pay-per-view and shit.
yeah, but it's like if I paid for the pay-per-view, then unless if you're charging people to
The
come
other
in.
thing is you can say like if you don't have to pay anything because you're going to make money, but ask for like a marketing budget. Be like, so I can run ads on Facebook and print flyers,
Ooh, that's a good point.
and then it's like I'll pay the talent based on the tickets that I bring in with your you work it, you just figure this shit out.
Well, with
The dude to talk to is Scriva, who I've gone to since I was brand new.
Uh-huh.
But like he's done so much of this. He's done all of the worst and the best comedy, so like he can tell you what works. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
because he's seen so much, and then like he's like I've been in Chicago, so I know like I've seen like what good shows look like, and I've also seen what bad shows look like. So
Yeah.
it's kind of cool like for that, and then I even told bars, I'm like, hey, listen, I have a podcast. I'll record a podcast at your bar, like
That's
as a
interesting.
promotion, like throw out your name, like to promote.
That's
the
the
show.
thing. You got to build this thing up,
Uh-huh.
and then like that's worth it.
Yeah.
You know,
And I
because
told him-
otherwise you're just a jackass in their bar with a microphone.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I did have a cool experience at one bar. I recorded one with like one of my early episodes. There was down in Washington, there's a place called Tanya's Tavern, and we recorded it live there in the middle of the afternoon. You can hear the guy playing pool next to us. Like he
Oh.
cracks the balls, and everybody was like, "I listened to that episode. Like that was."
Do you ever get
actually-"
drunk on recording?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll crack beers and stuff like.
Me and I used to get hammered for everything I did.
Yeah.
Whether it was like waking up in the morning or just like, so I was just always on something.
Yeah.
Me and Douglas did a famous podcast, dude. The Lost episode. It was 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
We must have drank for 24 straight hours. You know, like we were just drinking. We woke up, started drinking, and you know, this was the old days. And by the time we recorded like a 7-hour episode. Like we would go in for 2 hours, then we would drink and go shoot cans in his yard and like light off fireworks and mess around. And we'd be like, let's go back in and record more.
Yeah.
So one of them, we were so drunk we like wrestled. Like we got into like a fight. And he manhandled me, dude. Douglas is a big dude. He like had me on the ground and like was like, I made some joke of like, I'll kick your ass. And he was like, let's see it. And I was just messing around. And like next thing you know, I'm in like a chicken wing on the ground. And he's
help.
Yeah, he's got me like choked out, and I'm like tapping. And he's like, that's what I thought. And it was like almost for the other people there who probably weren't as drunk. They were like, that was uncomfortable. We forgot to press record. So we don't have that brilliant moment of footage, which I would love to have.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what sucks about like when you have a good moment and then like something screws up. You're like, no.
Dude, if you're ever nervous about a set, I don't know if you don't really film your sets that much yet.
I'll do the audio.
I do the audio for my own
if
stuff.
If it's a show, I'll record the show.
Yeah, but you should honestly don't even worry about clips yet. I didn't release a single clip till 5 years in.
Okay.
Because like you'll be glad you waited, you know. Yeah. But regardless, if you want to have a good set, don't record it, because you'll be like, oh, I wish I had that to listen back and see how it went. But you would have been like, it just, I don't know what it is. It's like a force from the comedy gods of like, if you forget to press record, you'll crush. You know.
I was just listening to like did you, so are you at this point? Like, where you're like, you know, would you do a special or like you?
I'm talking about doing one later this year.
Because Low Level would be a cool place to see like a special. Like,
I've talked about doing it there. I don't know. I want to get like the perfect venue, and I definitely have the material. I filmed like a dry run of one earlier this year that I don't think I'm going to release fully. I'm going to release it in clips though, and like, I was kind of messing around and I made a couple mistakes, which is like why people wear the same outfit, record 2 shows, you know, and then you can edit it together. If like, oh, I chunked that second and third joke, but I'll get them right in the second show and spice it together. But yeah, I think I'll probably, the goal was to record something by the end of this year. And it's not even really to release as like my art. It's to release as like promotional, to like send to clubs and stuff.
Yeah. Like almost, like have like a tape and
it's
like,
like
hey,
a commercial, you know what I mean?
Do this, I can, you know.
And I have some longer sets taped, but like really try to bone up on it, and make it official, and like fill a room. And
I think you could, like, especially like that place there. I mean, Low Level's a pretty good sized room, and I mean, like I said, every time I've seen you there, you've pretty much like owned that entire room.
Hell yeah, dude! It's a tough spot though with the high ceilings, and like I'm just like I would want to make something that I enjoy too. So like I'm trying to find the balance of which jokes I want to do and in what order. But I have well over an hour I could do.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of like from here, it's like, okay, this joke is really good and it's really makes sense, but does it's out of place, you know? Like I want this. When I record something, I want it to be like, I want it to flow from topic to topic really well, and like so I'm overthinking it.
Yeah,
but
that's fair.
I think it's probably for the better, you know.
Yeah, like how far? Like, what's the furthest you've traveled? Like for comedy? Like, have you like? Because you said West Virginia, you've done. Ohio,
I went out to
probably?
Chicago a handful of times now, but I haven't traveled much, and that's another thing I'm doing a lot more this year. Mm-hmm. Florida, but like my family lives down there, so I was just happened to be down there, you know.
Yeah, and
so yeah, the goal this year is to travel more, and I have some good tape to start sending out to other clubs and like, you know, I've talked to some people who I've opened for before and been like, you know, I email them and be like, is there any way I can do like a 5-show run with you? And like, you know, so, you know, it's like I said, you just kind of got to get lucky too. So I'm hoping one of these guys will get the experience of going on the road with opening for somebody more.
Oh yeah. Cause it's like,
Because for me traveling, bro, ain't nobody buying a ticket for me if I'm in you know Milwaukee next weekend.
Right.
But if I go with someone who sells tickets, it's like that's good stage.
Yeah, I didn't know if like you know like, I didn't know like what's the furthest you go on. Like, did you go deep in West Virginia? Did you go like?
I've done deep in West Virginia, dude. Those shows are fun. That's why I said Washington County, because those people are starved for entertainment. They're better audiences,
and you can kind of get away with more.
It depends, man. Like if you go to like the Midwest or like Bible Belt type little towns, or like even like out in Washington County, you can get away with like less woke stuff, right?
Yeah.
So like they'll laugh at shit that's not woke, anti-woke even.
Yeah.
But you'll do like sex jokes and they'll be like, we don't talk like that around here. You know what I mean?
I'm like,
so
that's a lie, sir, because I've heard you say horrible things. Like,
yeah, but it depends.
show.
Like for their entertainment, sometimes they're like, that was a little too dirty for my taste, but they're fine. Whereas in the city, you do anti-woke stuff, they hate it. But if you do like, you can do the raunchiest sex jokes and they're fine. So it's like they call it reading a room for a reason. You got to like see what these people would like, you know?
Oh, yeah. There's times it's like, because it's I've done a couple country shows, and I've done decent there.
I can see that.
And then the city,
find your people.
Yeah, and then the city shows, it's like I can like do well, but it's like definitely like when I walk up there, it's like, oh, you guys are worried I'm going to say something really wild.
Dude, over years of doing this, I do a completely different sets. I'll try to get there a little bit early and just look out at the people and be like, they don't want to hear me like rant about, like I have some jokes that are like not even political, but that they would think are political and would hate, and like like if I'm in Lawrenceville on a Friday night, I don't want to talk about how I think the vaccine is gay. They're gonna hate that.
Yeah, I think I tried one where when I was doing the Ozempic joke.
Yeah.
And when I was doing that for I think it was at St. Clair one time, I was like, I think it's funny I didn't get the COVID shot, but took the experimental weight loss drug, and you could feel like people pull back a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like
St. Clair was a great example. Like anytime I was there, I would purposefully curate like stuff for them. Like I better take this line out and replace it with this line, and like.
And then it's kind of fun just to go up there and just say the most wild shit you can think of.
Yeah, if you say it confidently, and that's what I'm saying. Like, don't make people feel attacked, but make them feel a little uncomfortable. Yeah. It's like a horror movie almost. Like people want to be scared; they don't want to be terrified. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like, let them enjoy the show of it a little bit. But.
I remember one time I was nervous on stage, and I was trying this new joke where I was like how most 80s action movies are all like gay.
Yeah.
Like they're all like super like
they are.
Did you ever see Commando?
No, but I know what you're getting at.
Yeah, like there's Arnold. There's a scene in Commando where Arnold like is fighting this guy, and he's like, "Come on, Bennett. You know you want me, Bennett. You've always wanted me." Like. It's
not a bad Arnold, for the record.
Oh yeah,
and they're always like shredded and sweating and like oiled up. Yeah,
and the dude's wearing a fishnet shirt.
Yeah,
what villain wears a fishnet shirt? Like I feel like
a good one.
Yeah,
I like shit like that, like fucking campy '80s bullshit.
Yeah, like fucking Gary Busey, dude from Lethal Weapon.
Gary Busey rules,
dude. I met him at Comic-Con.
Oh hell yeah,
yeah. Like, and I sat down next to him, and I have the photos still on my phone where. He does not smile for the photo. He just sat down. Like I sat down next to him, and he started going, "You play football?"
Hell, that's a good Busey, dude. I didn't know you had all these. That's a better Busey than an Arnold. Never do the Arnold on stage. That's just too hacky. But that's a good Gary fucking Busey, dude.
It was so weird. He just kept going, "You play football?" He goes, "I play football in Texas once." I was like, "What the fuck, dude?"
Bro, you should write that and make it like. Make up something funny that he said, because you can lie on stage, and that's a funny Gary Busey impression, dude. I'm pumped about that for you. That's
I tried
great.
it at Scarps a couple times, and it got huge, like because everyone's
that's
like,
great.
"Holy shit!" I'm like, it was weird because I'm like, just take the photo, dude, and like he just like you could see my face.
Gary Busey rules, bro. Who's the most famous person you ever met? You think?
Burt Reynolds.
Oh, that's cool as hell.
Comic-Con.
He also played football.
Yeah. Well, if in my apartment I have the picture frame, it's me and my brother. And we got to like stand next to Burt Reynolds, and it was freaking amazing. Cause like I had like an organic moment with him, like where he sat next to him. I was like, "So how you feeling?" He's like, "Oh, I'm pretty good." And like that's as far as it went, but I still felt cool because like you're talking to an old man. Like, how you feeling today? Like, you good? Like,
hell yeah.
Like not going like, "Oh my God, I loved you and Smokey the Bandit, Cannonball Run." Oh, like
never do that, dude. Yeah. I learned that the most famous person I probably ever met was Deion Sanders. when I was like 10, and I bombed, dude.
But you're 10. Like
Yeah, but I bombed, dude. I never forgot it. I was like, hello, Mr. Sanders. And like, I felt like an idiot. So ever since then, anytime I'm around anyone who's remotely famous, I'm better off acting like I don't know who they are.
I have one celebrity that I actually like was a loss for words.
Who?
John Schneider from the Dukes of Hazzard.
Okay.
Bo Duke.
I wouldn't be able to, he could walk right past me. I don't know who the fuck he was, but that's fun.
I'm at Comic-Con. Like I was so my brother's like 13 years older than me.
Yeah.
So like he was an 80s kid, so I watched what he watched.
I got the same thing, yeah.
Yeah. So I'd watch Dukes of Hazzard with him. So I was like, oh man, like the car's
that
cool.
makes so much sense about who you are.
Yeah. I was like,
Grew up watching Dukes of Hazzard. All right.
Yeah. And it's like, and I was like, I'm mad that like I can't still like it. Like I can still like it, but in the privacy of my home, like I have to be a hidden.
Wait, we're not supposed to like Dukes of Hazzard anymore?
Well, you got the rebel flag that ruined everything.
Oh, blow it out your ass.
Yeah.
And I mean, dude, no.
Yeah. Like I have like sweatshirts and I'm like, I can't wear this because
you don't want to. I used to have a Skinner shirt that had the Confederate flag on it, and like in hindsight, like it's like I'm not saying anything with that.
Yeah.
One time, dude, the time I met Zevon Vasquez, it was the very first time like we've really ever talked, and we're clicking and we're vibing.
Yeah.
And he asked to look at something on my phone. Now, I had just bought a banjo, so I was taking banjo lessons on YouTube. So on the banjo lessons on like the YouTube video, the backdrop was just the American flag, and it had like the chords on there and stuff. So I pulled up my phone, and he was like, let me see something. And I was like, it's a banjo lesson. It's like, I can't help it. It's part of the culture,
You're like, it's music.
We were laughing about that the other day.
Yeah, because it's like they sneak it in on all their shirts. Like you'll look and be like, oh, it's just a car. You can't see the top.
My whole family
and then
is
look in the windshield and you'll see like a very hint.
My whole family is from the swamps of Florida, so like I've seen plenty of it. It's just there's a tough.
Yeah, and it's like
what you do.
And like I said, the show itself, like there's nothing controversial about the show. It was made for children.
They could find something controversial about it, bro. Anything that you look back on is like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and the movie still makes me laugh.
Is that with that's the
Johnny Knoxville and
Stifler? Jessica Simpson in Dukes of Hazzard might have reached. I think we reached peak hot, and everything from down has gone down from there. That was peak hot. You can't get hotter than her than that. Get the fuck. She was in that Burger King commercial. Get out of here, dude.
Yep.
That was insane.
I don't know. Sydney Sweeney's getting up there for peak hot.
Maybe I was just had a younger man with more testosterone or something, but dude, it doesn't get hotter than that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. That was a peak like moment. Like when that came out, like the movie's like not that great, but she's hot.
But like it was just like it was like a cultural phenomenon, dude.
And it's a Broken Lizard movie.
Who's Broken Lizard?
That's the guys that did Super Troopers.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you look like. There's all the normal guys that are in those movies are in
like
that
pop
movie.
in and out of it.
Yeah.
I like how Sandler does that too. Like,
oh yeah,
Happy Gilmore is making a remake.
I don't know how that's going to go because
it'll be. I bet it'll be for the fans. You know. So like, will it be a phenomenal motion picture? No. But like, if you want to sit down and like enjoy an hour and a half of some bullshit, it'll be good.
Yeah, because like there's some movies they do like years later, and you're like, they shouldn't do this, and then you watch
it. Bro,
it.
Dumb and Dumber, when they made that, I was like devastated.
Yeah.
Like that was an insult to the original art that was.
I went to see that with my dad though, and I do remember my dad laughing his ass off when they.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
So they spent so much money getting Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels that the rest of the movie I felt like they did it for like $20. You know, like so it kind of fucked up.
That's
that
what
movie.
sucks about comedies anymore. Like no one actually like puts like remember Bridesmaids? Like Bridesmaids was
solid.
Yeah, like you watch it and you're like, oh, this looks like a movie all the way through. And then like we hit a point where it's like comedies just seem like we're gonna spend a lot of money on the star and then everything else will be cheap.
I don't really watch movies anymore, so I'm kind of just giving a bullshit opinion. Yeah. But they all suck now, even though I don't watch them. You know. Yeah.
I went to see Gladiator 2. I'm thinking, all right, this.
How was it?
I went to see it with Seth Queen, and Seth Queen gave me one of these. I'm trying to think of the
you
right
and Seth
wording
Queen
for
look
it.
like someone's just fucking around with a ginger woolly willy.
Yeah.
Like, let's put all the hair on the head. All right, now let's put it all on the face.
Me and him have been talking like we want to do like a movie podcast and stuff. So we went to see Megalopolis. which is
Don't
Francis
know what it
Ford
is.
Coppola's like magnum, like, oh, this is the greatest movie I'll ever make.
Okay.
It's not. It's terrible.
Okay.
It's weird and it's like bad looking. So then like next movie we're like, okay, Gladiator 2. And we watch Gladiator 2. It's a disappointment.
Too much CGI, I heard.
It's a lot of CGI. Like,
Hate CGI.
It's like here's
It's
my,
lazy.
Yeah. Like it's like, okay, like the Coliseum like looked cool, but you're like, you could tell this is like CG.
I hate it, dude. You know who did it best? The best use of CGI was one of the very first uses of CGI, and it was Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Because, like, some of the dinosaurs you see, like, running in the fields and shit are fake, but they still had big-ass rubber animatronic dinosaurs. And it kills the suspension of disbelief for me when I can tell a guy is, like, waving a sword at a green screen or something.
Yep.
Like, I need to see you interact. Like Jaws, it had a fake shark. That made it good.
It feels like ever since...
Now, if they made Jaws, it would just be a fucking computer shark, and I would not be interested in any way.
Yeah, like, you know, and, like, people don't realize that the good way to use CGI is like kind of like, okay, you got to hide it. Like you have to find ways to like use the lighting to hide it a little bit.
It should be like they used to talk about abortion, like only in emergencies, you know, like safe and like safe and rare or whatever they had like a slogan for it.
Like
but yeah, it should be rare.
Like they got that new Wolfman out.
Don't know it. Dude, I'm so out of the movie world.
Oh, they've been showing like ads for it or whatever, and I'm like, it's better when you actually have like, I want to say practical effects, like practical makeup. Like I want to see like, you know, you could see like, you know, the hair on his hands, stuff like that. Don't make him a CGI fucking animal.
Dude,
like,
it's so stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe this is like, oh, I'm just an old man, and like it's like, oh, the music you kids have these days is like that happens.
No, I think it honestly sucks. Like everyone.
I think it sucks. You hook me up to a lie detector test. I know that I think it sucks, but like, does it suck? I don't know. Maybe if you grew up with it, it's different. But like,
you know what I like that weird. I was trying to explain this to somebody, and you might get it better because like. We're close in age. That weird time, like between 2010 to like 2014, there was like a really fun period. I think that's just because when I turned 21, like I remember Southside used to be fun. Like they actually had clubs down there, like not 18 and up clubs now.
Is that what Southside is now?
Oh yeah,
I don't even go down there. Dude. It's like
Diesel?
Wild West. Vaguely, I've never been a club guy.
Okay.
But yeah, this is the example of, it's like ask anyone when their favorite SNL was, and it's always when they were like 14 years old.
Yep.
That's because that's who thinks it's funny.
That's fair because I was like in early high school, and I remember.
So yeah, if you say the club scene sucks now, no, it doesn't, dude. It's just for children. You know, like
literally now because it's 18 and up clubs.
Yeah, and it's for young people. So like the clubs are probably just fine. You know what I mean? Like you have to always have that perspective of like. We're just supposed to be into different shit now.
Well, what's weird?
Know when to leave.
What's weird is that kids like they don't party like we used to.
No, they don't, which is probably good.
Yeah, I think it's because they're all on depression medication and like they can't drink with that. So
yeah, a lot of them don't. I've read articles that like kids aren't drinking.
Yeah,
which I think is good, but also you miss out on like there are times where you grow and shape who you are as a man. Getting into trouble with your friends, drinking as like a 16-year-old.
I remember one time there was this. I was outside of Diesel, and I'm blasted. Like we were at Sky Bar, like you know, and all that stuff, and I'm blasted. I remember there's some dude that kept eyeballing me the whole time, like just give me a dirty look when I'd walk by him. So I looked at him and I was like, "What's up?" And he looks at me and goes, "What's up?" Like he had like an English accent.
Sup is like aloha. Like aloha can mean hello or goodbye. Sup can mean hello or let's fight.
I looked at him like, "What's up?" And he just looked at me and he had like an accent. And I just looked at it. It sounded like an Australian accent. So I started doing the crocodile Dundee, like, "Aye, mate, you got a knife?"
That
like
could
stuff
be fun,
like that.
or it could be a fight.
And then he pulled out a knife.
Oh boy, it's
and
a fight.
I just looked at him because he's like, "No, that's a knife." I said, "No, that's a knife." Like I just kept making fun of him, and my buddy had to come in and like shut it down, kind of thing. Like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" Like, "Yeah, don't mind my buddy. He's a little drunk," and like he ended up started talking, like kind of like saved me,
chilled it out.
But I was just very much like, "Fuck this guy." Like, that's the problem. Is it's if I'm drinking certain drinks, I don't care.
Yeah, that's what they're meant to do.
Like tequila. Like
it should say right on the bottle.
Yeah.
May cause destructive behaviors.
Yes.
You know?
May cause a fight.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, Irish whiskey, I just turn into Conor McGregor and I get rowdy.
That sounds fun too. You know what I mean? It's all about. I was always a relatively fun drunk. I mean, there were plenty of times where I wasn't, but
what was your like go-to
drink?
Yeah,
dude. You know what? I'm such like an average person. So like when it's liquor,
yeah,
I like Jack Daniels with 3 ice cubes in it.
Oh, okay.
Just and I would slurp it until it was gone and get another one. I like whiskey.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I like tequila. I like that little burn.
Yeah.
I like ordering tequila sunrises and just watching people like look at me weird.
Okay.
Because it's like I know it's a gay way to drink tequila, but it's the best tasting way.
Yeah. I don't knock people's drinks. No, I do. Who am I kidding? But like, because you can get like the real fruity looking ones. But like, yeah, that's why I always went just like. I always wanted to. I wanted to look like a distinguished judge or something. Give me a short glass, fill it to the brim with a couple ice cubes, and I'll slurp on it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you want that like badass like
Yeah, like it was like an image thing, but also like that was my. As far as liquor goes, like if I drink it straight, I'll drink it slightly slower. So that's probably good. If you're pouring soda on top of it, like I'll just take them down, not realize it.
Yeah. So did you like? Are you like kind of like I'm sober for like a certain period of time, then maybe I'll try again, or are you just like hardcore hard stop?
Well, the nature of it is you're supposed to say one day at a time.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know, man. I might drink tomorrow.
That's true.
Probably not.
Hopefully not. Yeah,
Probably
hopefully
not.
not.
I feel very confident.
Yeah.
That I won't drink again. Ever.
That's fair.
I just did it. You know. I've always been an adventure seeker, and like at some point I had to ask myself, is this really an adventure anymore? It's more adventurous to me to be like, wouldn't it be crazy to go up and try to flirt with that girl sober? Like that, like if you're drunk, that's that used to be like a night out and a wild thing to seek and see what the night brings me. And now it's like, let me try to experience everything in its reality. And that's more of like an adventure to me.
Yeah, I like going on adventures like when I'm drinking.
Yeah, who the hell doesn't?
It's so much fun because like I remember one time I went to an after hours bar. I met this Mexican girl there. She invites me back to her place. So it's me, her friend, and some Turkish dude. And I'm thinking like, all right. And she's just like, let's go upstairs. I'm like, all right, cool. Like we're on the rooftop. We're playing Truth or Dare. I'm
Adventure.
like, this is great. And then at the end, she's just like, I can't. She goes, I have a broken heart. And I'm like, okay. So I just got to go home at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know.
No bueno, lady.
Yeah. That's what I said. Like
no me gusta.
Yeah. I was very like, okay, well, that's cool. I guess I'm just going to go home and
have a broken heart.
Yeah. I'm going to have a broken heart now.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
Yeah, but it's like I like going on adventures because I'm at people's houses at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's definitely fun, man.
Like,
it's definitely fun to like I partied so much that like there's just nothing left in it for me.
Yeah,
and the fact that like I definitely am prone to be like I'm such a more person. I have no brake pedal, so like I start having a few drinks and then it's like, what else can we do? This feels good. What else can I do to make it feel better? Like I'm just such like I'm aggressive in that way. I remember this one night, dude. So we ate a bunch of mushrooms, which I love. Yeah. And
does that still count as like, being I don't think so.
I don't eat mushrooms, but I don't count them either.
That's true.
I would be very open to in the right setting because I believe they have genuine healing properties and stuff. But I have been fully sober since April 13th of 2022. I have not touched anything stronger than caffeine. I'm very proud of that. But also, like, mushrooms are fine.
Yeah.
But we ate a bunch of them,
I ate the wrong chocolate bar.
I almost did one night at a secret comedy club that we know. I almost did on accident. I was like, ooh, chocolate. But I ate a bunch of mushrooms this one night. And we were drunk, and I was in a position where, like, I couldn't go home. And my buddy, who I had been hanging out with for, like, 3 months every night, and I was becoming very close, he was like, you can just crash on my couch. And I was like, all right. So we get to his front door. It's like 2 a.m, and he's like, be quiet. I don't want you to wake my wife up. She's been up all night with the baby. And I was like, you have a wife and a baby. I didn't even know.
And you're letting me come home.
And I was like, this is crazy. Like, like I didn't know you, like I was like partying and like had like a very adolescent style of life. I was like, oh shit, you got a wife and a baby in here? It's 2 a.m.
Yeah.
So we go in there and we're partying more and we're like trying to like whisper, but we're also like drunk as shit and being idiots. And we were watching Hey Arnold. and laughing.
That's a solid one to watch.
We're watching Hey Arnold and laughing like little kids, like,
Yeah.
and it starts to get
The
loud.
controller because you got 3 minutes on there.
Okay, so the wife walks out, and she I'm gonna have to leave anyway, so I'm gonna fuck it up.
Yeah.
So the wife walks out and she starts screaming at him. Turns out she doesn't speak English. She only speaks Spanish.
Oh.
So I can hear her screaming at him in Spanish, and I don't understand a word of it, but I somehow know it's all about me. You know, I'm
You
like,
just hear, you know,
dude, I'm
Trevor.
in the other room, like, fuck, you know. And then he pokes his head out through the door and goes, I didn't even say anything. He goes, no, man, don't worry about it. It's not you. And he goes, it's like, well, now I know it's me, dude. It's got to be, you know.
As soon as you say that, you're like, it's me.
No, man, don't worry about it. You're good. And he just pokes his head back in the door. But I don't know. An adventure, dude.
Heck yeah, man. Well, let's see. I know you got to run.
Yeah,
the
I got to
mic
start
night.
probably getting
We
it
got about an
together.
hour and a half, though.
Hell yeah, dude. This
that
was
was good.
fun. I'll do it anytime, dude, once you run back through the
Heck
lineup
yeah,
of
like
our
if you got
people.
if you got anything like, you know, that you want to promote one time, like if you have a show coming up.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I would do that. For now, what I'll plug is just follow me on all the social media, dude, and share the clips. I appreciate that.
And I'll throw your stuff in there. You send me your links or whatever, and
Hell yeah.
I'll post them all like in the body of it.
Excellent, bro.
So that way people can just, if they like the episode, they can click in and just hit you.
Hell yeah, dude.
Heck yeah. All right, man. All right, so we'll see you guys.
All right, fun on the tailgate.
Hell yeah.